So I have been spending a good bit of time with Roadhog after the update, and I'm actually impressed over how well they managed to overwork his hook. While there are still frustrating parts in dealing with Roadhog, and even the hook is not perfect 100% of the time, they've come a big way, making it feel way more consistent. Seeing how much I enjoy playing Roadhog now after the update and reading about the upcoming Bastion changes, I was starting to think, what 2.0 iteration could we need next? And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I would like to kick things off with the, in my opinion, most egregious, inconsistent, and annoying to deal with mechanic currently in the game, previously only beaten by the Hook 1.0 version. And that will be Reinhardt's charge ability. When it comes to overhauling abilities like this, it's not a question of buff or nerf, the focus is and should be how consistent the ability in question acts. Which was a big problem with Roadhog's hook, getting pulled in through 18 corners or in the distributing end, hook targets ending up on top or behind the player. Reinhardt's charge has a similar problem, that it is simply not consistent. There will be times where you playing as Reinhardt will charge someone who's directly in line with you, but instead of getting pinned, they just get pushed away. And other times when on the receiving end of a charge, the Reinhardt won't even be anywhere near you, yet you get pinned thanks to the infamous magnet charge, literally grabbing you out of the air to place you in front of the charging Reinhardt. Just like with Roadhog's hook, it's incredibly frustrating to deal with at times on both ends of the spectrum. If I play as Reinhardt and I perfectly align my charge onto an enemy support, I want to be confident that this charge will kill the target rather than having them pushed away even further out of the range of me and my teammates. The charge is supposed to kill someone, not save their life, which granted does require the player to actually land the charge properly. So let's just pretend that this is the case rather than saying, but not every charge is accurately executed. Simultaneously, the charge should not be too rewarding. I don't want another no-brainer type of ability that you can randomly toss into the room and get a kill with it without even thinking about it. When I clearly jumped out of the way of the charge and I don't want to be pulled back into its path thanks to some magical vacuum powers. So what is it that could cause these problems with Reinhardt's charge? Well, the devs were not short of excuses before, talking about lag compensation and the like. However, they have proven to us that it can be done with the Hook 2.0 or 2.1 I guess. So we can assume that lag compensation or netcode played into the problems with Reinhardt's charge ability. Possibly on the other player's screen they were somewhere else than what you saw, and the game tries to somehow stitch that together. Sadly, the kill cam is not an accurate representation of such cases at all, as the devs said themselves. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm actually surprised over the lack of complaints in this regard. I guess you see Roadhog using his hook way more often than Reinhardt charging in, so the frequency at which glitchy things like that happen is far lower. However, I still feel like this is something that absolutely needs to be addressed as fast as possible. Another thing that has been complained about for a long time is Genji's deflect. It's an age-old story and I don't feel like repeating something everyone is aware of anyway. I can't understand why an ability that is supposed to be of protective nature for Genji himself needs to have a hitbox 900 times his own size just so he can use it offensively and deflect damage that wasn't even aimed at him. We really need this fixed. I don't even want to get started on projectile hitboxes. I mean, we had a fix for it out and then they went back to truck-sized arrow hitboxes for Hanzo, which really annoyed me personally because I played Hanzo before and after those changes and I honestly felt like they were really good. I no longer got bullshit killed by enemy Hanzos while still landing my own shots. Granted, I couldn't land shit with Zenyatta to save my life anymore, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take for the sake of consistency. Or more so, killing the consistency at which I get murdered by projectiles that were nowhere near me. If it was my call, I'd say to work on everything that just feels inconsistent, because inconsistency is absolutely infuriating. It means that you can't reliably make decisions in regards to positioning because something that doesn't work properly might or might not kill you depending on how the gods of the netcode feel that day. I mean, did you ever think about how all of the various abilities work that boop you off? I'm talking about Lucio's right click, Pharah's concussive blast, Zarya's alternate fire, Soldier's helix rocket, and Reinhardt's stupid hammer that doesn't only kill you when you're not even in the player's field of view, but also has an extended hitbox that goes beyond the already massive weapon model. Apparently, getting pushed around by all these things is momentum based, which is a concept I can get behind, don't get me wrong, but it just feels so inconsistent. Sometimes we get launched into another dimension by the enemy Lucio, but when you try to do the same thing to them, it's just a little bunny hop. This is something I don't even know how you can fix it, to be honest. It's not something I particularly like to be in the game in the first place because of how cheap it feels, but I know that this is a very personal and subjective way of thinking about it, and that some maps were even deliberately designed with this mechanic in mind. I guess it's really just a pet peeve of mine, but it sure does feel inconsistent a lot of times. Alright, enough complaining for me for today. Now it's your turn. I'd like to strongly encourage you guys to go down to the comment section and let us know what you think needs a 2.0 iteration next. Do you agree with the Charge 2.0 being a necessity, or do you think something else is more important? Until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. Do feel free to drop me a like on you if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you all next time. There was a mini diva on here. What? Oh my god! I tried to hook the mini diva and Far just like dropped out of the sky and got one shot by me.
What is even happening right now?
Fucking love it, lads.